April Chief Academic Officer update call. We've got a lot of good information to share and several folks from the team on with us today. Just want to remind you as you join, please mute your microphone so we don't hear any background noise. And if you're calling in, please don't put us on hold. We would enjoy the music, but probably not so much for the meeting. So with that, we are going to jump right in to our first update from Dr. Kelly.
All right, thank you, Dr. Eads. I appreciate that, and good afternoon, everyone. This will be very quick. The first, as you can see there, bullet, I wanted to just let everybody know that we're still diligently working on the underserved student outreach and advising project. Where we find ourselves at this moment is working on the Memorandum of Understanding with the North Carolina Pandemic Relief Office. And once all of those details are worked out, then we will send out an announcement to all the colleges that will let them know how they request their funding. This will be very similar to the Longleaf Student Support Services grant that we did last year, that we're just basically looking for you identifying the underserved population. What is the need of that population? How do you plan to meet that need? How do you plan to measure that you've met that need? And then what is your budget? So the allocation was back in February, and hopefully we'll be able to open up for those requests for funding in the very near future. Again, we're just kind of waiting on that MOU to be nailed down. The next thing that I want to mention to everybody is the Summer Accelerator Program. This is hot off the press. We became aware of it early last week, and then we pushed really hard to get it to the state board for their approval just this past Friday. The board item, I put the link in the chat there for everybody. So that way you can get a little more details about that. So basically it allocates money as a scholarship for your curriculum students for summer students, for not only this summer, but also for next summer as well. We're also expecting more money to be allocated over the next year or so that would be available for not only next summer, but maybe even the summer of 24. All those details are still trying to be worked out. So first and foremost, I want to give a thank you to our financial aid offices and the pressure that this puts them under when they get last minute allocations and scholarship monies like this. And also I know that Brandy Massey and all her other colleagues are working diligently to identify the appropriate coding and workflows in Colleague to make this happen. We are scheduling a Q&A webinar, and that should come from Brenda Burgess from my office. That invitation should come out soon, so that way we can get your questions and try to answer them as quickly as possible. So thank you for your patience as we try to work through this and get this money to the students as quickly as we can. So I'll pause there to see if there's any questions for me. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate what you do to serve your students, and I'll give up the mic to Dr. Eads.
All right, we're going to transition right along to Dr. Freeman. I think you might be muted.
Thank you for catching that quickly. I would have been done. We're excited that the state board has approved modifications to the regularly scheduled curriculum hours, allowing students to be present prior to the census date if they aren't able to through online means. So that means logging in online and the student instructor can see them, or submitting some type of an assignment like you would in the online section. We learned through the pandemic there was this inflexibility and things that we need to adjust to do that. That's also going to make HighFlex an option, and we're still currently working under and fine-tuning that that gives us institutions more flexibility in that work. So we're looking for feedback from presidents and other stakeholders on the
Yeah, degrees, diplomas, and certificates.
Also, like,
Hang on just a second, Lane. We've got someone that needs to mute.
all right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry.
Yeah, so we offered a Moodle Mastery 101 course for automotive faculty in the and earlier this year. It went really well. Got a lot of feedback. They like working in a cohort with instructors that teach along the same discipline. So we're going to do that again with early childhood instructors. That begins in May. So I'm going to put in the chat box a link for that. I would love for you to share that with your early childhood instructors who use Moodle. That can be part-time faculty, full-time faculty. That's board and NCCCS through our Perkins funding. We were able to offer that professional development and offer a stipend for those who participate and complete that training. No matter their skill level, if they're really, really good at it, they're going to learn some things from Moodle. If they have no idea what Moodle is, it's going to be also an excellent opportunity on how to do the basics like create a grade book, how to add a syllabus, how to just do basic things within inside of Moodle. And so I promise that if the instructor takes advantage of this opportunity, they're going to walk away with something that they find valuable. And then finally, the Immersive Learning Conference. We're excited to be offering that in a couple weeks. Again, this is something where Perkins has funded an opportunity for our CTE instructors. Registration is closed for that now, but I wanted to talk about some of the excitement and energy behind this. In the past COVID, we learned a lot of things that we thought weren't possible to do online. We learned that we can do some of that online. And so now when we're looking forward, again, thinking the things that we think aren't quite possible to do online, well, they may be do online as we look into the future. And so we're excited about having automotive faculty, construction, and transportation, and advanced manufacturing faculty. I think there's 32 colleges that are going to be represented at this conference. We're going to have a lot of engagement opportunities. It's going to be kind of fun, so I feel jealous about enjoying about doing this, but it's going to be fun. I'm learning about the new technology that's going to be available to recruit our students, to retain our students, and allow students to still be able, or even full-time, and still be able to pick up the credentials through our community college system. So that's all I have for today. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or you can send me an email.
Thank you so much, Dr. Freeman. We appreciate that information. I'm also jealous as a former faculty member that I'm missing out on this stuff too. So we're going to move right along to Dr. Bob Whitsker. Dr. Bob.
Dr. Eads, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for joining.
It's okay. We just got done with the Office of Civil Rights. We had got a good review. So
It's good news.
Thanks to Tony and the team. I think just a few things we're working, and I think Mary's working arduously to try to get a meeting with the high school, with our DPI counterparts in the community colleges, so we can look over the leadership elements of that, and so we can officially kick off the high school to community college articulation agreement. I think also we're working hard and planning the end of the year review. All the colleges have been notified. The unique thing about this year's is that we need to have all the videos on MPEG 4 format. In the past, we've had Chris to help us when they came in a variety of formats, but I think we've talked to folks about that, so we're really happy to have those. And also, as we prepare for our monitoring, we have a great catalog of these promising practices over the years that we pick up at our end of the year review. So we're very happy of how the colleges are moving. We have new coordinator training. We've already done one virtually, and tomorrow, in fact, Tony and I are packing up the car right now. We're getting ready to take all of the materials. We've got a brand new book published, Dr. Eads, that handles all the materials that we typically have online. So members will actually be able to get a hard copy. It's almost 150 pages of our operating procedures. And also we got snacks that we just loaded up. The advantage of in-person meetings are snacks. But anyway, that's coming up. We have our annual meeting the next day, and all of this is around Skills USA. I think we're fortunate. I don't know if we're fortunate, but we're lucky. Tony's been doing a lot of work on that, and he's going to get a national award from Skills USA for the work that he's done to promote Skills USA at our colleges in North Carolina and his leadership activities with that group. So we'll be celebrating that within the context of Perkins 101 tomorrow afternoon, and the next day the annual meeting, and then that evening Skills USA. So we're happy about that. The leadership projects are going well. I think Dr. LaHood has had 2 great projects on cybersecurity and also Apple Swift training, so we're happy to see that. I spent 2 days with Jennifer McLean and JJ in their career coaches. That was an exceptional success. There almost 150 people went through that coach training that was actually provided by some of our faculty at the colleges. I think they did a great job introducing coaching and recruiting of students at our community colleges, and just some of the strategies that they used, some of the problems that they occurred. So we're happy to partner with many of the people in that area. Mary's coming up on another EDU project. So we've got many leadership projects that are actually looking at enhancing our Perkins project. And then, well, I think the note here we have, as you know, we do methods of administration. We just got off the phone with OCR in a conference call with our secondary partners, and we have 15 colleges that are working on resolution. I think by far and away our biannual report was accepted with just a few comments. That's a quick update. I don't know if you have anything else up there. I think you kind of summarized it. Oh, sure. That's great. We have up and coming, Tony and I will be presenting at the NACD conference, which is down in Savannah in about 3 weeks. We're doing 2 unique presentations, one on the comprehensive local needs assessment, and we'll be using clips that some of our chief academic officers have helped us with in our regular training on how we use advisory groups and other employer inputs to improve our comprehensive local needs assessment. And then we'll be working on a project called Surviving in COVID Times. And we're even going to call on Dr. Lane Freeman to give us a couple quotes during that presentation. But we'll be hosting 6 other states as they talk about strategies that they used to keep CTE alive during COVID and how they did that. And here's Tony's National Award, again mentioned down there. And then finally, we just want to remind people that we do have our monthly updates with Perkins. Patty's taken over that job to help us because Chris retired from us, but she's running the technology behind the scenes for that in our Perkins monthly updates that we do. That's the second Tuesday of each month. Everybody's welcome to attend. We also have those posted on our NC Perkins website, so if you miss one, you can pick it up. As you know, with all federal grants that you get, the entity that gets the funding, which is us, are required to provide ongoing technical assistance. We do that online now. At one time, we had quarterly drive-in meetings. We now do all of those. It's actually on a monthly basis. We do those through our monthly Perkins updates, and that's a team effort of we work with Doris, Patty, Mary, and Tony as we put together that training on a monthly basis for our colleges. And finally, we have the career pathway webinars. Consistent with Perkins is career development and working with a variety of people. And I really want to thank our chief academic officers. Their faculty have come through on this. Every workshop that we've done or every webinar that we've done have included 3 or 4 colleges that actually work with us and help present the material as we engage with employers and try to bring some of the little-known careers in North Carolina that pay quite well with a post-secondary credential. We even tie in the work that Michelle's doing, our director of curriculum, and the work that she does with Career and College Promise. And we have a segment on that. But the whole idea is to work with, while we have about 1,000 people on our list, we get about 400 or 500 people tuning in every month to learn about career pathways or learn about career development activities in North Carolina and how the community colleges work to bring the technical programs alive. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bob. A lot of good stuff happening in the world of Perkins.
Okay.
You're all right. So we're going to move right along to Miss Michelle Lair.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be with you. If you haven't gotten a cup of coffee, I'm going to invite you to do it now, or whatever other caffeinated drink you might need to get through these slides. We have a lot of updates from the programs area, and of course, I will be covering 2 of them. So hopefully, with your grace, we will make it through pretty quickly. On the next slide, I believe we have information that starts off our updates, reminding you about some of our board and committee updates. We probably shared with you, I believe, the last couple of meetings about our requirement to send our annual report, which is done. But we do want to put before you this reminder regarding some changes to that annual report that we do for Career and College Promise to the General Assembly each year. We will be in touch in the coming weeks regarding that, probably late May, early June, so that we can begin that work for that annual reporting cycle. Speaking of cycles, our cooperative innovative high schools are about to open their application cycle. I believe we have a meeting coming in the next week for that. So please keep your eyes and ears open for that information. As soon as I have it to share, I will certainly be sure to do so. Also, our cooperative innovative high schools, a few of you are in the process of doing your 5-year renewals. So hopefully you've received that information and are getting those documents ready and back to our DPI partners. Our CCRC meeting, our last one, will be on May the 25th. So hopefully mark your calendars for that information, for that meeting. On our next slide, we will remind you of a few other projects that are going on regarding CCP with our research grant, ongoing work there. We do have some fresh off the press additional infographics. I believe we shared with you ones for CTE at the last CAO meeting. We now have them for college transfer as well as cooperative innovative high schools. They're a great tool to share with students and parents to help them see the benefits of Career and College Promise and participating in it. Our dual enrollment study, and actually let me rephrase that. There is a dual enrollment study that is underway that is actually charged to our partners at DPI. We have been involved in meetings for that study. They have been charged with examining some of the factors around dual enrollment in terms of student participation, as well as credits that can also satisfy high school graduation. As I have information to share about that, I will certainly do so. I do know that there is a survey that will be going out to colleges to try to get your feedback for some of the qualitative work going on with that. So again, as soon as I have that information, we'll be sharing it so that you guys are aware. The CCP Advisory Board, actually, I just hung up from a meeting with them about a couple of hours ago. They are still hard at work looking at updating our Section 14, which is the CCP operating procedures. We will have that ready and out for you guys, as you see here, late May, early June. The Rise Up initiative is also underway. I believe we shared with you last time that Lenore Community College has been designated as the lead college for that initiative. This is an opportunity that was in the latest budget bill for cooperative innovative high schools to engage in some courses, or actually more modules, that would give them some credentials to prepare them for work in the retail industry. There is an opportunity for cooperative innovators to access some seat licenses, basically to provide that to the students. We are currently awaiting some marketing materials. Actually, just got some materials that we'll be able to share at this coming Friday's joint webinar with our cooperative innovative principals and leadership. But again, as more information rolls out with that, we will be sure to share that as well. Next slide is a whole lot of updates in terms of leadership projects. And I'm not going to read all of those to you because they are there for you to take in. But I will assure you that the program coordinators here in this programs division, I don't think sleep very much at all. There is a biotech alignment project that is very new. I believe that Central Carolina is going to be leading that work. So Dr. Bird, I'm sure will be working with that, probably along with Dr. Scoletti. Dr. LaHood, I don't think sleeps at all, because you can see here some of the different projects that he has going on with IT that were mentioned before. We also have the building careers around construction management, just tons of things going on. The Abler project for our students with disabilities. So really proud of the work that is going on with the coordinators, and certainly grateful for the support of our Perkins team that are really helping to fund a lot of those projects that you see before you. Also, very good news. We did this past Friday submit a revision to our EPP application, our Educator Preparation Program application that we submitted to DPI, which will be going before the State Board of Education in May. You may recall that we started on this endeavor probably almost a year ago now with that application, got feedback, had to do some revisions, pulled together some faculty, some of them from your campuses last week, and we spent lots of nights getting those revisions together. So grateful to Dr. Olvera, who is here on this call, as well as to you for lending us some of your faculty to help with those revisions to get that submitted. And hopefully we will be able to share some great news around that in the days to come. Credit for prior learning crosswalk, which was something that I was introduced to in taking on this role just a couple of months ago. I'm working now on crosswalks for the construction technologies program area, and we will plan to get those crosswalks through as quickly as we can to the CCRC. We're beginning with the construction technologies area because of the work that is going on with the Building Careers construction project. There are some alignments there in terms of the credentials that I think would be helpful with that project going on. So we're starting there, and we'll progress throughout those other crosswalks that have been put together as well to get them ready to go to our CCRC. Our next slide just reminds you about our joint webinars, which I alluded to a few moments ago. We do have ones on Thursday and Friday of this week with our DPI partners. They will be our last ones for this academic year. Our next ones will most likely be in September. We haven't planned out next year yet, but we'll be doing so in the coming weeks. So your staff on your campuses will be made aware of those times as soon as we have that. But the links to join those are here. I'll be sending those out to the CCP listserv, so those folks will have it as well. But you have the links here for yourselves just in the event that they're helpful. Our next slide reminds us about another time that your staff have opportunity to connect with me, and that is for our First Friday Forum, which has been a great success this year. And so we'll certainly keep that opportunity available next year. It's really truly an open forum to work with our staff who are CCP serving and facilitating the program across the state every other month. So that they have that opportunity, any questions that they have or needs that they have, and we have a place and space to address those. And then last is staying connected. So we do certainly make an effort for that to be the case, and the links are here about how you can stay connected with what's going on with CCP. We may be, we'll keep that going as well for next year. So please feel free to share that, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And again, I hope you had your coffee for all those slides for both programs, including CCP and CIHS.
Thank you, Michelle. And I appreciate that you gave the folks a heads up that you'll be seeing a vote letter soon for a crosswalk for construction. So we appreciate the faculty panel work that happened to get that drafted. And I do appreciate the work that both Bob and Michelle are doing with the coordinators to make sure we have all the things running to support your campuses. So we also wanted to share with you, Michelle, we got one more slide. I forgot. We've got this one too. I jumped the gun.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. Yes, we do have one more. So this is an important one as well. This is regarding the newly minted CCP CIHS Leadership Institute. You may recall in years past that there was the Cooperative Innovative, or the CIHS Leadership Institute, that happened in May. This year, there was a decision to add in CCP with that, so that it's a combined CCP sort of Pathways and Cooperative Innovative Leadership Institute. So you'll see all the information here on the slide regarding that, as well as the contact for that, which is a little difficult, I think, to see in that blue. I do not have links yet for registration, but as soon as I have those, I will have those links out to the CCP listserv so that your folks are able to join in particular, your cooperative innovative liaisons, those folks who are serving in those liaison roles. So we did have one last one, and again, I'll get that to you guys as soon as I have it available.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, so we do have some just reminders for folks about processes. If you are hoping to start a new program for fall of 22, please have your application submitted to us via the program's email address by June 1st. If you're running across any challenges with documents and such that are close to that due date, please let us know and we'll try to work with you as best as we can. And then also just a reminder, program of study submission. We are getting a ton of those. The programs team is flooded and are trying to turn those around quickly. So if you have any outstanding on your campus for those colleague entries, please get those to us by June 15th and we'll get those turned around as quickly as we can. Also wanted to just give you a couple updates about what's happening here at the system office with staffing in this area. The programs and Perkins team continues to be shifted and filling vacancies with folks retiring or taking other opportunities. So we're in process with 2 positions right now, reviewing the business system analyst position. Terrence McDonald held that role previously. And then, of course, the CCP coordinator position. We're just in the interview process for that position. And then we have an internal vacancy that just posted this week from Bob's team from the Perkins area. So that one's being advertised internally for this round. And also, Michelle, do you mind unmuting and sharing some the announcement that we have about another coming retirement? I think it's probably good to share that with the folks in case they have not heard.
I can, but you'll probably see tears running from my eyes now that my camera is off. But I am happy but sad to share with you that one of our teammates has announced that as of September 1, he will be retiring. And that is Dr. Frank Scoletti. So when I got the email, I told him I was quite upset, and I screamed at my computer, "No, you can't go." But nonetheless, he has decided that there are greener pastures that are much quieter, I'm sure, to be taken part in. And so as of September 1, Frank will be leaving us. So please just join us. And we have a few months between now and then. And certainly congratulating him on that milestone, but also expressing your gratitude, because I'm sure many of you have worked very closely with Frank over the years. So yes, we are sad, but that it will be coming soon.
Thank you, Michelle. And also, if you want to take that opportunity to give him a hard time, we certainly are glad to see this for Frank, but also sad to see another longtime employee looking towards the next part of their journey. So wanted to share that update with you. We also have an update. We shifted our slides a bit to accommodate for scheduling. I believe Nate is on the call now. So hi, Nate.
Hey,
Transition to you.
And thank you so much for your flexibility there, and glad to be with everyone today. Wanted to bring to this group just a verbal update at this point to get on your radar screens, if you will, around work that's underway at the Criminal Justice Training and Standards Commission to update the curriculum for basic law enforcement training. As I'm sure most of you know, 55 of the 65 authorized delivery agents for BLET are North Carolina community colleges, so overwhelming majority of that space. At this point, what we want to draw your attention to is the fact that that curriculum is in the process of being updated. It will have a significant increase in the number of hours required to deliver that instruction. And knowing that colleges are in their budget planning seasons right now, wanted to go ahead and at least make you aware of that. Phase 1 is going to be a pilot with a single institution who's partnering with CJ on testing that new curriculum and that new content. And then it would roll out to a handful of colleges for essentially a beta and then it would roll out to the full all delivery agents of basic law enforcement training across the state. As a part of that, we are working through with the goal of having a course vehicle figured out in time for the May CCRC meeting in order to make sure that we can accommodate that. I just wanted to bring this to you today so that you have an awareness. Many of you have BLET programs on your campuses, and so just wanted to make sure that as we're working this kind of tripartite effort, if you will, our colleges, the system office, the CJ Commission, and the Department of Justice, just trying to make sure that you're aware that these changes are coming, and that as we know information, we're going to be very prompt about sharing that with you. Again, thinking about budget season, knowing that there will be additional competencies that will be required by those standards for delivery agencies, just trying to make sure that your CJ department or your BLET school director, whenever they come to you to raise those concerns, that you have already at least heard that there is going to be an increase in hours and therefore obviously an increase in instructional cost. So wanted to bring that to you. One other quick plug while I've got the microphone is just to draw your attention. Many of you have shared responsibilities with your continuing education divisions, and so want to make sure on your radar screens is our new short-term workforce development grant program. This is a huge milestone for North Carolina and represents the first financial aid program in the state's history focused exclusively on short-term workforce development students. And that program is aligned with the NC workforce credentials. And you can check out the complete list of those as well as how to recommend a credential for consideration at nccareers.org/credentials. That's nccareers.org/credentials. I'll drop a link in the chat today. But there, if there is a credential that you feel like should be on that list or should at least be vetted to be considered for that, and we can run with our friends at Commerce the labor and economic analysis of those credentials to see where the demand is and what the wages are for that to see if it would be eligible. There's an open call for nominations of additional credentials to be considered right now, and those would move forward for review in July. So I would just appreciate your thoughts and inputs on that as that group continues to work on keeping that list alive, moving and responsive to North Carolina's labor market. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Nate. A lot going on and a lot yet to come. So we are very glad to have your leadership in this area. All right, so we're going to take a moment now to acknowledge Dr. Brown. If you are on the line, very glad to have so many good updates, and we know you all have a lot going on in your campuses, but want to see if you all have if you have questions about anything you've heard so far, or if Dr. Brown would like to share any greetings.
So good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Eads and team, thank you all for providing some valuable updates. I'll say really quickly, kudos to everyone on the line. We know that it has been an extremely busy semester, to say the least, and we are excited that you will be ushering another group of students to graduation across the stage and getting ready also to enter into the summer school phase. But we're excited here as we look to continue to best support you all. Please know that you can continue to reach out as you are doing through email or picking up the phone and giving us a call. And so we're in a good place. During the next update session, we will likely have more details as relates to a couple of the things that are really being worked on in collaboration. You heard Dr. Freeman in previous meetings talk about high flex. You've heard us talk about, what does the college ready definition look like? And thank you all for providing feedback to those colleges that were able to do so. We are examining that information as we speak. We're continuing to also have conversations, as I noted earlier, about high flex and how we can best move that definition forward in collaboration with our programs committee of the College Presidents Association. And so we have some great work to do that will impact our students and you all at the colleges. And so we're excited about that. Also, we are continuing to have internal conversations that are starting to broaden related to the co-requisite developmental education model and what key data points look like. We will be working more closely in the upcoming weeks with the Programs Committee of the President's Association and have further conversations to be able to roll out key data points that will be useful to our leaders at the Great 58. And so those are some of the high point updates that we wanted to share with you all, and we will provide more detail as we move forward on the myriad of projects and hopefully student success change work that we are working on as a collective. So Dr. Eads, those are all of my quick highlights and updates for today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. Do we have any questions for anyone on the call? I'm going to pause and be respectful, give you some chance to, it's a lot of information to process. And feel free to unmute if you'd like, or type anything you'd like in the chat.
Well, we'll give folks a moment to reflect and I'll fill in another second. Just wanted to let you all know, fresh off the press, we have scheduled a high cost workforce program application kickoff webinar for Monday at 1 p.m. So you should have that in your calendar invites. As it speaks, it would have come from Alex Doles with our office. And so we look forward to talking through that work, and those conversations will be co-led between Dr. Eads, AVP Humphrey, myself, and VP Brandy Andrews, as well as others from the system office. So we want you to know that that information will be covered in more detail. So if you will, please join us on Monday, as well as we have invited the college presidents, chief financial officers, as well as senior continuing education officers to be a part of that meeting. And so we do want to go ahead and put that out there. That should be on your radar for early next week.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I think Beth may have a question. And Dr. Batanza, please feel free to unmute if you'd like. Okay, while we're waiting, let me do something really quickly. I'm going to try to come out of this presentation and also share with you all. Hopefully you're still seeing my screen. We have some new infographics that have come out from the CCP research work, and I just want to acknowledge the team's work on this. We have one for innovative high schools, one for CTE, and one for college transfer. So these will be coming out to you in the email with today's slides, as well as the recording link. And I believe I owe you all a recording link for March, so I'll put all of that into one email to you. Just wanted to give you a heads up, you're going to get a few attachments. Okay, we'll unmute. Let me try. Let's see if I can unmute you. And I'm not sure if that's on our end. We're having some technical problems. Here, I hear you. See if I've got any folks on the line with me that can help out. Help me unmute Dr. Patanza. We're working on it. Hang on. I'll change you to an attendee and see if that makes a difference. I am having no luck. Any of my colleagues from the system office, are you able to see if we can unmute?
I tried and was not able to.
Who are you trying to unmute, Lisa?
Beth. She says she got her answer. Okay. Sorry about that. It's been odd today, letting folks in, having some challenge with that as well. So we might need to do some troubleshooting. Any other questions that need to be answered while we have everyone here?
I don't see him.
All right, well, I'm going to stop our recording. And again, thank you all for joining us. We know it's an extremely busy time for each of you on your campuses. Please let us know if we can be of service in any way as the weeks progress. And again, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your afternoon.